What's up, everybody? Welcome to Off the Glass, presented by Moneyline Media. What?
It's like a finger roll.
Oh, off the
More like a.
As Walt Clyde Frazier would have said many, many years ago in a basketball game, he was broadcasting. He said, "It's a Scooby Doo off the backboard."
He's
What
a pretty,
the hell that means?
pretty awesome guy to watch. He's a good commentator.
Yeah,
much better
One of
than
my-
Bill. Much better than Bill Walton.
Dude. Bill Walton is atrocious.
He's terrible, man. He's really bad.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So we got a lot of stuff going on in the NBA to kick off the season. A lot of chaos.
Lots.
Some games have been canceled due to COVID-19. Definitely best case scenario, though, there has not been a ridiculous amount of cases. We're still playing basketball, which is very, very intriguing.
That's true.
We are very excited. We have a couple trades that we have not discussed yet on this show.
Well, this is our first episode of us.
It is. This is our first episode of Off the Glass.
Presented
by Moneyline Media.
Yes. So I'm going to just start off. I told you I'm going to start off this way. Just giving you conference, standings, updates.
Yeah. There's going to be some surprising ones in this.
Yes, there will. Boston Celtics, 8-4. They're number 1 in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee Bucks, 9-5, number 2. Philadelphia 76ers, 9-5, number 3. Indiana Pacers, 8-5, number 4. Talking about trades. Brooklyn Nets, number 5, 9-6. New York Knicks, 7-8 at number 6. Number 7, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow.
And we got to talk about them too. 6-7. And then number 8 is the Atlanta Hawks at 6-7. And then we got number 9, Orlando Magic, 6-8. Charlotte Hornets, 6-8. Chicago Bulls, 6-8. Miami Heat, 5-7. Toronto Raptors, 5-8. Washington Wizards, 3-8. Detroit Pistons, 3-10. And that is our Eastern Conference. Making our way to the Western Conference, which is much better. Much better. Los Angeles Lakers are 11-4. They're number 1. Number 2, Los Angeles Clippers, 10-4. Utah Jazz, 9-4. Number 3, Phoenix Suns, 7-5. Number 4. Number 5, bring it to San Antonio Spurs, 8-6. Portland Trail Blazers are at number 6, 8-6. We got number 7, Golden State Warriors, 7-6 after a bad start. 8, Memphis Grizzlies, 7-6. Oklahoma OKC Thunder, 6-6. Dallas Mavericks, 6-7. Denver Nuggets, 6-7. New Orleans Pelicans, 5-7. Sacramento Kings, 5-9. Houston Rockets, 4-8. And of course, rounding it out, Minnesota Timberwolves, 3-9. Biggest surprises on the list for you, James?
All right, so biggest surprises. I'm going to go with the positive side first. My biggest surprise to me on the Eastern side is my very own New York Knicks. Listen, I was going to mention this too, but then I after further analysis, I realized that it's just an East Conference thing. I thought there might be some situations like this where worse teams are in a better position because of the shortened season.
Right.
But in the West Conference, that's not an issue. It's just an issue in the Eastern Conference right now.
Right.
So I'm going to disevaluate that.
Right. So, listen, I think the Knicks are a very exciting, good team. Their defense is incredible. They obviously need to improve their shooting to maintain that level that they're at. I think they're playing great. They've been playing teams close too, and there really haven't been any blowouts that they've suffered.
I think they've covered the spread like every game this year.
They have. I really, like I told you, the Knicks are a lot of fun to watch, and me as a Nets fan saying that, it's tough, but it's hard not to root for them. I obviously don't. I obviously root against them because I'm a Nets fan, but it's very hard to do that. I think that they have a good mix of young, and they have a couple of really good veterans. Austin Rivers has really surprised me in a good way.
Yeah.
The way that he's come and he's taken that team over, and he's been in some like crazy toxic locker rooms. I mean, I think the Clippers one was pretty toxic when he was there. I think the Houston one was obviously a little toxic. And to take all of his knowledge and what he's learned and to bring it kind of, he's becoming a journeyman, and he's someone that's great to have off the bench. But he's really shown up for this Knicks team, and he's become a very good leader, which I think that you can agree on with me.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, the Knicks are exciting to watch. I still don't think that they have the right coach, but that's here
Okay.
nor there. Obviously, he's doing something right.
Yes. So now my biggest surprise in the Eastern Conference this year in general is the Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
For them to be, I believe you said third to last.
Third to last. Yep.
Third to last in the Eastern Conference.
A lot of time left.
A lot of time left, but I am not. I am not intrigued by what I'm seeing out of them. They look dead.
Dead.
Like it doesn't look like they have anything. Like in all honesty, it looks like that. Like listen, there's teams that when you lose and you're like, okay, well, it looks like you're getting better. They don't look like they have anything going on.
Oh, agreed. They are on a 3-game win streak, however. Let's give them the credit. Maybe they're fighting to claw their way back. Pascal Siakam is a player that has a lot of talent and a lot of upside. However, he's not playing that way, if we could agree on that. And
yeah,
when he's having a bad game, he's having a bad game. You know what I mean? And that's something that because even Kyle Lowry, when he's having a bad game, he's still next play. He's a next play type of guy.
Sure.
I think that they had a couple of free agents leave. They haven't quite been, and they're not at home. Like Toronto is a big home court advantage. They're in Tampa Bay. And when they're in Tampa Bay, a lot of outside, like other teams come to, support the other team. Like Miami, who they play, a lot of Miami fans come to Tampa Bay to watch them because they are able to have a certain amount of fans in Florida, which is crazy, but we won't get into that. So you have a lot of people who can come, like Orlando fans, or even Knicks and Nets fans who are like down there, are able to do that. So they're going through a tough time. I agree with you though. For
Florida teams don't survive off Florida fans. Florida teams survive off Northeast fans that go to watch their teams play.
Well, when Toronto, I think that Toronto, majority of that stadium, probably 95% of that stadium is Toronto people. Like when I would go to the Nets games at one point when they were really bad, it was 60% the other team, and that's what Toronto's dealing with in their own home court right now. So that's something that just to watch out for. Cleveland Cavaliers are actually my biggest surprise in a positive way. Obviously, they have something negative going on. I don't know if you heard about this. Kevin Porter Jr.
Who?
Will more than likely Kevin Porter Jr.
Okay.
Will more than likely be out. He had an outburst the other day.
An outburst.
An outburst where he apparently threw soup. From what I know right now, he was not happy. Apparently, they asked him to change his locker because someone was coming. I don't know, but apparently he had got into a fight with the GM, told the GM he's running a slave ship, and
interesting.
So he will be gone. And they spent a little bit of money to get him in the second round last year. So something to watch out for. This could impact them in a positive way. This could impact them in a negative way. But they are obviously my surprise this year because I don't think anyone expected them to be there. And I think my biggest disappointment has gotta be the Heat, right? I mean, 5-7. They had everything going for them, I think, in the bubble, and I think the time.
I think that's a team that we can actually chalk because they did go to the finals. So I think we can actually chalk it up to maybe fatigue. Let's give it a couple.
A lot of young players too who did not like Tyler Hero played, until March. Right? Like that's what he played until, going Bam's young too. I don't think that they've been to the playoffs when Bam was on the team until last year.
Give it 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think, and I feel the same about Toronto. I think Toronto is also getting used to a different environment.
Yeah.
I give it 2 weeks for both of those teams, though, to kind of get themselves on. But then it's like, what teams are going to move down?
Yeah.
And I think it's tough to say that it's not going to be like a team like Cleveland. I think Atlanta is very good, so I'd be surprised. I think Indiana is going to suffer.
It's surprised to me that they've gotten off to this sluggish start, but new players, new
Atlanta?
system. Yeah.
They're still number 8, but yeah, no, new players, new system, and they do play well. Like, they play well.
I agree.
I think Indiana's actually going to fall down. I don't know if you heard about this. Indiana obviously was kind of part of the trade with James Harden.
Yes.
In their trade, they get someone who I think is going to become a superstar in Karis LeVert. Unfortunately, he is out indefinitely. They found a mass on his kidney.
Kidney, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he, I'm sure wasn't happy about the trade at first, but he said it ultimately could have saved my life. So we're wishing him the best. I'm wishing him the best. You know what a big fan I am of his. But I think Indiana will suffer a little bit without him. But I wish him, and I hope that he gets well very soon and we see him back on the court, because he is a special player.
Yes, he is. Definitely is.
All right, let's move down to the Western Conference. Who's the biggest
Conference?
Biggest surprise, positive, and biggest surprise, negative?
All right. So, my biggest surprise, in a positive way, is the Lakers.
Okay.
And the reason why, I know they're the first place team, they're the favorites coming out of the gate, but I never thought that after you just went deep into the finals with a 30,000-year-old LeBron James, after you went deep into the final, that team didn't get any younger.
No.
And
they didn't.
Came back. They came.
Well, I mean, I think Dennis Schroeder brings something to that team.
Yeah.
But
one improvement. But they lost a few players that were key to that team last year. You come moving into the new season on short rest.
Right. Very short rest.
They haven't missed a beat.
No, they haven't.
11-4 to start the season.
8-2
in the last 10.
I will also say this, and I know that he's never going to get the credit that he deserves for it, because he has LeBron and he has Anthony Davis. Frank Vogel's a very good coach.
Yes, he is.
He's a very good coach. He kind of got screwed in Orlando. He's a very good coach.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know they're a first place team, but they're my biggest surprise. I never expected them to be at the top. I thought they were going to struggle hard.
A little bit, right. Yeah.
Because, any team does. You win any championship.
And you do.
In a regular season, you come out sluggish.
Right.
Besides the Chiefs, but.
Well. All right. Who was your biggest surprise negative?
Biggest surprise negatively to me here has got to be the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah.
They're big,
I see that.
Big disappointment to me. 5-7 to start the season. We're at the number 12 seed right now in the Western Conference. Right. You could say the Rockets here, they're not a big disappointment to me because I thought they were going to do this.
Right.
So, it's
also,
definitely that.
Just their losses haven't been against great teams, but their losses have been close. Very close losses, besides the one to the Lakers.
The Mavericks are another team that's really disappointing me.
Yeah, I think that, I could see why that would disappoint you. Luka, I think Luka's very good.
Out of his freaking mind.
Yeah, it's not Luka.
No,
it's just...
No, it's not. If you saw the game the other day, I forgot what team they were playing. Bad team. They were getting murdered.
Right.
They were down like 20. On yesterday, this game. I think it was yesterday. Today's Tuesday?
Yeah, I think today's Tuesday.
Either Sunday or yesterday. They were down by like 15, and Luka was the only good person doing everything. Rebounding, assisting, shooting.
He does a lot.
God. He was by halftime, this kid was dead. He had 30 points at the half.
Right.
And they were losing by 18.
It is crazy. For me, the biggest surprise positively is the Spurs. They came off a pretty bad year last year. They're 8-6 right now. They're first in the Southwest Conference. They have some really good wins. They beat the Raptors. I know that the Raptors are struggling and kind of finding their footing. But they have a couple good wins. They seem to, he never misses a beat. Greg Popovich. But last year, you kind of had a feeling that like the Spurs were going to go down, and they haven't. And give a lot of credit to DeMar DeRozan. He has played absolutely incredible. 8-6 is really good, especially in a tough West where they don't necessarily have a star. I know DeMar DeRozan is incredible, but they don't exactly have a star. They beat a good Trailblazers team. They've beaten the Clippers. They've beaten the Lakers. Those are two teams that I don't think that if you told me last year the Spurs would have, I mean, obviously, it's a long season. They have a shot of beating them. I think it's just something that,
By the way, the Thunder are a little bit of a surprise to me too.
In a positive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 500 without a star. They still have a lot of young players, a new coach. But you're right. You're right. To me, a surprise in the negative way, and I have to say this, is the Denver Nuggets being 6-7. This was a team. This was a team that was taking on LeBron. In the Western Conference Finals. I think they lost a couple players as well. Michael Porter Jr. has been, which is different than Kevin Porter Jr., who was also junior, I believe, or maybe he's just Kevin Porter. But Michael Porter Jr. Is coming back. Obviously, Nikola Jokic, is Jokic, the Joker, is still playing incredible. He's averaging, I believe, either a double-double or a triple-double. He seems to get it. I think that they could find themselves getting back on track with this OKC team that they're playing. Good teams go through tough times, and I get that, but they were just in the Western Conference Finals, and they're still young. They still have a lot of their players, so I think that's a surprise for me. James, any obviously you want to talk some trade talk. I know you do.
Yes, I do.
Okay. What did the Nets do?
Oh, listen up, Moneyline Media listeners. The Nets went out and they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do exactly what we did. What was this, maybe 7 years ago?
And it was about 2012, so yeah, I remember it.
8-9 years ago?
I think.
Where they said, we're going to empty our entire bench. We're going to empty our entire future and all of our first-round draft picks into the year 2097.
Yeah. Yep.
But here's what they got in return. They got a 65-year-old James Harden.
Okay, James Harden's not 65, but continue. I got to defend them a little bit because I was also unhappy with the trade. But then you go first.
They're going to pair up the senior citizen squad of James Harden with and this is not even saying this in a joking manner, but a mentally confused Kyrie Irving. And
wait, can we shout out Kyrie real quick? I don't know if you saw, there was like a list.
I did see it. Big props to Kyrie.
Kyrie is a good guy. He's a good guy.
I'm not questioning that.
Yeah.
But Kyrie Irving, and I don't like the way that Stephen A. Smith said it the other day where he's like, he's not focused on basketball.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving he's not okay.
No.
He's not okay mentally. He has a lot going on. And it's showed for the past few seasons.
I agree. But I will say this too about him. I think that the guys that are on the team are not as young as the Celtics players. They have a couple of guys that I think can keep him on the right path once he does come back, because he will come back.
You think somebody smack him around?
No. I don't think smack him around, because I don't think smacking Kyrie around will work. I think more people who are like empathetic.
Okay.
I think that Kevin Durant's a really good leader and like not a yeller. Like, you know what I mean? DeAndre Jordan, who I thought was like.
DeAndre Jordan might smack him around.
No, I don't think so. He's been a really He was mic'd up yesterday, and I watched the
Well,
game, and
something. He's terrible.
and I no, I will, and I agree with you. But last night, and I don't know if it's because he's playing with stars now and not like in the second unit with like young players. He put his ass on the line the other night, like really working his ass off. So I think that this is a positive thing. I think there's something to say. James Harden hasn't been like forcing his shot. He's been looking for players. I think that Nets team is good. I don't know if they're necessarily championship good like people think they are.
Yeah, I don't know. See, this is my fear. I don't know how Kyrie and Harden play together.
I think they'll play well together.
I think Durant and Kyrie are fine. I think Harden and Kyrie are fine. I mean, Harden and Durant are fine. I don't know. Those two guys, all they want to do is hold the ball.
I get that, but I'm going to say this just by watching Harden, because I'm not a Harden fan. I wasn't a Harden fan. I obviously am rooting for him now, but I'm not necessarily a Harden fan.
Yeah.
And the way that he was looking to pass the ball and looking to move the ball, and Joe Harris, who was probably
this is his first game the other day.
No, but even not just to KD though, he was looking. Joe Harris is a great shooter, and I understand that.
Oh hell yeah, Joe Harris is the only guy I trust on the team with that ball.
But even the Reggie Perry, who is from Mississippi State, the rookie, he was looking at some people. Landry Shamet still is terrible. I thought he was really good. I was so excited when I saw that pickup. Bruce Brown has been playing great. They do have a decent bench, a solid bench. We need another big man. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get another big man.
Did you guys just get rid of a gigantic person?
Jarrett Allen.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's favorite player.
Which leads me to my next statement. Why the hell was Jarrett Allen involved in that?
Well, they needed to put him involved. It was like a three-way trade. Yeah.
Jarrett Allen is oh my god. That's the part of the trade where I was like, no.
Yeah, me too.
That would be like if the Knicks got rid of Mitchell Robinson, I'd be screaming.
Right, but I think that if the Knicks were in the position that the Nets were in, which is a win now type of system, let's be honest, it's not the Knicks are in a different position.
I think you're absolutely insane. I don't think the Nets are in a win now situation.
Oh, I think they. When you have
now they are. Now they have to. Now they have any draft picks for the next 30 years.
No, but I think even with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, it's hard to say, oh, we're not in a win now. Like those are two of the best stars.
I don't know if Harden is your win now guy. Let's face it, James Harden has not done anything in the playoffs ever.
Listen, I agree with you. I don't even think like Nash necessarily is our guy. There are times where I'm like, and I like Nash. I think another thing, I will say this too. I think Nash is the perfect coach for a guy like Kyrie. Because he is very good with Steve Nash is hard not to love.
You know Mike D'Antoni's there too, right?
Right. Who's not a perfect coach, but he's an assistant.
Mike D'Antoni is a great coach.
I'm saying he's not a good coach for Kyrie. He's a little bit.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not like.
But
put my arm around you.
But Steve Nash is. I think that the Nets are in a good position, and I think that they are.
Here's my problem. What happens game 3 of the playoffs, and Kyrie's like, I can't handle this.
Well, the good news is, I know you say we traded a lot of our bench, but we didn't. We traded a lot of our draft prospects, which is completely different and worse.
You traded Jarrett Allen, you traded LeVert.
Yeah, but that's 2 guys. You know, there's
a bunch of guys.
2 big guys, yeah. I'm not saying, obviously they were our best young players.
Who'd you get back?
James Harden. It's a win-now situation. That's it.
Yeah.
So I know, I agree with you. But it's.
Are you guys? Can you guys square up against the Lakers?
I don't know if there's any Lakers. My biggest fear, and obviously, is Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's your big man?
Jeff Green has also been playing very well, but I agree with you.
Good Lord, Deirdre, do not.
I love Jeff Green.
I know
Jeff Green. I've loved Jeff Green before, even before he was on the Nets. I always rooted for Jeff Green. It's hard not to root for him.
He's a very quiet guy, and he's very quietly productive.
And he is doing a good job with the Nets. Like he knows his role. Same with Bruce Brown. The problem is when we face a big man or a physical guy like LeBron too. I don't know if we're there. I think we could outshoot a team. Defense is going to be a big problem.
Why don't you guys trade your 2069 first round draft pick? That's the next draft pick you guys have.
Yeah.
Trade that one for.
You're not far off, actually. I think 2029 is the first one that we have of ours because they're swapped. Like we have a first round pick, but like just say we're terrible and we have the first pick. They could, and they're like 30th and 30. They could swap it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is insane. It's an insane trade, but that's what you.
What year is this? 2021. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's bad.
Listen. You made a move to win now, but if you guys don't win now, we're gonna look back at this one as this is one of the worst trades.
Right. But I think, and I totally disagree with your position that they were not in a win now situation. They were 100% were in a win now situation.
I think they could have won with the team they had without giving up the entire future.
I don't know.
Why James Harden? Why does it have to be James Harden?
Well, I think that he wanted out, obviously.
Yeah.
And players who typically have like a bad experience with their last team, and you could disagree with me, I feel like on their next team, at least for the first season, are totally different.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, because you're happy.
Yeah. I think it's going to be.
Listen, here's my fear. Well, luckily, and this is not to discredit James Harden in any way, shape, or form, but good thing all the New York strip clubs are currently closed.
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand that. He's a different.
I don't know how he fits in New York.
Oh, I think he does.
Really?
I think he does.
You can't pick.
I think watching him with the team the past two games. Beside New York.
He got in trouble in Houston. He got in trouble in OKC.
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't know, and I understand he had Chris Paul, and Chris Paul is one of our favorite players. Both of ours, who we really grew. I think not that we ever disliked him, but we really grew to like during that OKC.
Yes.
Right. But I don't know if Harden respected him. I think Harden has a lot of respect for Kevin Durant, and I think Harden has a lot of respect for Steve Nash. I think it's different when you're like.
Well, listen, they looked good yesterday.
It was okay. I didn't think they looked great.
By the way, one of the biggest problems they have defensively, they are atrocious.
Defensively, very bad. But the good news is, like,
Shoot.
If we have to play, we're gonna probably have to play Harden, Giannis, whatever, Giannis in the playoffs. He went 1 for 10 on the foul line the other night for Dallas.
I don't see Giannis as a threat to any team in the playoffs.
He is, again, similar to LeBron, but with less skill.
7-game series, the Knicks beat him.
I know. No, but listen to me. He's similar to LeBron in a way that we both spoke about it. We both think that LeBron's one of the best athletes, pure athletes, and I think that's what Giannis too. Do I think that he necessarily has all the skills? No, but I think you can develop that.
Right.
He's still young.
I agree. What the hell are you drinking out of?
It is my water thing, and it's water. I know it looks like soda right now, but it goes.
I'm like, that ain't water.
Yes, good morning. Hydrate yourself. It gives you the times. I'm way ahead.
Very good.
Thank you. It's supposed to help.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. First day with it, so did pretty good.
True. Good shit.
Going forward.
That's as much water as I drink in 3 weeks.
What'd you say?
That's about as much water as I drink in 3 weeks.
See, that was, I think, my problem too. So I need to step it up. Matchups coming up. Obviously, this is not going to be out on Tuesday. I'm great, but I'm not that good. Wednesday night we have Brooklyn, Cleveland. That's I'm looking for like really good matchups. Memphis, Portland will be a good one.
How the hell is Brooklyn, Cleveland a really good matchup?
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I
Oh.
was just the first one I saw. Boston, Philly tomorrow as well. We got Toronto, Miami, two teams that are struggling that we think need to bounce back. On Thursday, we have Los Angeles versus Milwaukee. That's a good matchup. New York versus Golden State. Good matchup. 10 p.m. That's a little past your bedtime, James.
Golden State has been beating teams for no reason. Like late in games, coming back from like 15 points down. They did it last night. They did it last week. I forgot which team it was against. But, yeah, that's my point. Steph Curry is leading those guys. Wiseman is turning into one hell of a basketball player, huh?
Who?
Wiseman? He didn't really miss a beat out of college. He's playing really well.
Yes. Well, I mean, he didn't really play. He didn't really play in college.
But. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, the 8 games. Draymond Green's atrocious. He's got to go. I don't even want to watch him anymore. I don't want to even watch him play basketball.
Friday night's matchup got Boston 76ers again, Miami, Toronto. I think it's all the same games. Pretty much.
Doc Rivers needs to figure it out.
They're doing pretty well. I think that people paid on Doc Rivers. Miami, Brooklyn is on Saturday, just so everyone knows. That's a good matchup. Denver, Phoenix, also on Saturday. And that'll be probably
it. Oh, boy. Rain Davis. Oh, my God.
What?
Well, we're 32 seconds into the game, and the Devils are winning.
A lot of people think the Devils are going to be terrible this year, and I'm not like a hockey mind. I just, I don't really know, but I'm a Devils fan. So, all right, love it.
Cheating asses, cheating.
Right. And that is it for Off the Glass. We will be back with more tomorrow. We have tons of interviews lined up, interviews galore. Check us out on our Instagram. Check us out on our YouTube. Check us out on our Spotify. Just check us out.
All right, Stacey. Should we even do this on this show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to because Dave just got the fucking macaroni.
It is water. It is water.
All right. Stay safe. Stay well. Stay hydrated.